I hadn't played Risk of Rain 2 for almost 4 months prior to the making of this video. It's a game I have numerous hours on, probably an unhealthy amount of time, though it does pale in comparison to some of my other games. Despite this, I sat there bored and a little hungry to try out the entire video making process. And then I saw Risk of Rain 2 sitting there in my installed games section on Steam, among my cesspool of backlogged games. But instead of actually playing any of those games, I launched one of the games that made me fall in love with indie. I was greeted by a short cutscene that I promptly skipped and arrived at the soothing and enchanted tunes of the main menu. Looking at the menu screen, I was immediately hit with a flashback of previous runs, from my tremendous failures all the way to my staggering successes. The new flash next to the logbook taunting me, baiting me to go and collect more logs. I excitedly clicked single player and prepped myself for launch. I have all the characters, but had always most enjoyed Huntress, so I instinctively chose her. I selected Monsoon difficulty, which is the hardest, and dropped right in, expecting to be brought right back within due time. But then, I was reminded why I love Risk of Rain 2. Dropping in, I was immediately greeted by the somber, snowy, siphoned forest and took in the sights. I eagerly hunted enemies and quickly stumbled upon some lesser wisps and dispatched of them. I spotted a multi-shop and purchased a fashionable watch for my journeys. I continued to dispatch the other enemies that got in my way. I spotted the teleporter and, wanting to keep good pace as difficulty increases as time goes on, quickly looted what I could, pulling a void-corrupted ukulele or polyute, and then I opened a large chest and was greeted by one of the best signs you can have, a red drop. I had pulled a symbiotic scorpion, an item that permanently shreds armor on hits. I started the teleporter and, well, down fell the wandering vagrant. I TP'd out and was then greeted by the sand-covered, abandoned aqueduct, where I then pulled a backup mag and bandolier, two items essential to Huntress's build, whilst dispatching the stone titan effortlessly. Moving on to the next stage, I was presented with a beautiful sight, Rally Point Delta. Nothing much exciting really happened this stage, aside from getting us safer spaces. The following stage was, in my opinion, the worst, the Sundered Grove. I just wanted to get out, so I quickly did the teleporter, but while doing so, proclaimed my literal love for this game.
Oh my god, this game... Have sex with me.
I then visited Newt, browsed his wares, and moved on to the 5th stage, Sky Meadow, where I was once again greeted by a fantastic sight, another red.
Bruh.
It was on this stage that I once again realized why I love this game. The music. Listening to the music and jamming out to the sweet electric noises of the composer. It kinda just makes you want to move your head back and forth like a chicken, to be honest. I looted up, rotated the portal, and fought the control units before continuing on to my second loop, beginning in the Titanic Plains. You see that enemy? Yeah, we'll talk about his kind later. I looted up like normal and battled the Beetle Queens and was shown a display of sensory overload from too many goddamn bugs. Sloppily, I took down the Beetle Queens, with the last one being perma-invis because of that rat bastard celestial aspect, but eventually took them all out. Difficulty meter merely laughed at me for the remainder of the time. I went onto the wetland aspects and just wanted to leave the area, so I did the usual kill, loot, boss. At the boss, more Beetle Queens was shown, let's just say, a lot of enemies on my screen. Murdering through the mess, I arrived at Rally Point for the second time and did the same song and dance. You know how it goes by now. Except I was greeted by the worst noise you can hear in the game.
Go ahead. Okay, fine.
I survived and arrived at the teleporter boss and was greeted with a terrifying title. Having nearly pissed myself, I visited Newt and dreamed of Wind, where I saw it, the Golden Shrine of Aurelian Knight, which would unknowingly be my ultimate downfall. I battled a scavenger and got head stompers, killed the warship unit, got a laser scope, and continued on to murder some worms so I could destroy the Golden Golem. Upon entering the portal, I was greeted by too many fucking titans and had to play the bitch boy game. I fought valiantly, but then panicked and was executed by that goddamn Malachite aspect. Just like that, my run had ended. and I, slightly frustrated, took a 5-minute break and did my English homework, only to come right back, start another run, again, and again, and again. Risk of Rain 2 style can only be described as electric, bursting to the brim with color, vibrance, and flavor. I had never taken in the environment of its somewhat cartoonish nature or noticed the beautiful array of colors as you decimate your enemies. Its characters all have this sci-fi fantasy aesthetic, mixing all kinds of different timelines into one, from the simple commando to the arc wizard-like artificer, and even the horrific void fiend. They all have one thing in common: they look freaking amazing, dressed in pleasing colors and casting an array of effects from blues to oranges to purples. It's honestly beautiful. The game presents itself through its art as a soft, somber, relaxing game. Its main menu is a perfect example, showing soft rain as the trees sway and your character lies there, broken or maybe just taking in the sights. That's kind of up to you to interpret. But the gameplay is anything but that. It is an ADHD person's dream, as seeing all the numbers fills you with either overwhelming fear or stimulating happiness. The logbook exists as the only tool of information for the player in-game, with any other information only being obtainable out of the game. Within this logbook, you can view every single item you have ever found, a short description of those items, how many of them you found, the highest stack amount that you've had, because you can infinitely stack items in this game, and a short little lore description. On top of the items, you can view your monster log, environments, survivors, challenges, and even your own run history. On top of all of that, you can zoom in on individual enemies and survivors to your heart's content if you want to, say cosplay them, or just look at how damn stylish they are. But you wouldn't have all the style if it weren't for the electrifying tunes of the game. So far, I have used nothing but Risk of Rain 2's music because it's nothing short of amazing. The music is by Chris Christodoulou. I probably butchered that name, sorry. He's a Greek composer who makes electronic tunes that invoke a sense of so many different emotions all at the same time. From the light start of the rain formerly known as Purple, and its uplifting end, to the daunting and energetic Con Lentitud Poderosa, which I think means powerful slowness in Spanish, but someone fact check me. And even the badass guitar and drums of You're Gonna Need a Bigger Ukulele. There's music for all emotions here. They all play in-game at seemingly just the right times, giving your short adventures a theme to go with any given moment. Together with its style, it culminates into an amazing orchestral design that will be timeless. All this music and style needs something to show for it, and that's where the amazing gameplay shows, just as the music begins to kick in. The gameplay of Risk of Rain 2 is nothing short of amazing. It's a 3D roguelike. Do I even need to say any more? Seriously, it has nearly perfected its gameplay, with you being able to infinitely stack items like I've said before. It's not about if it's balanced or not. It's about how much fun it is. And let me tell you, it's a fucking fun game. What makes the game so much fun is the variety of enemies forcing you to look forward, up, down, and all around as you eliminate them. The characters doing these eliminations are the different survivors, with a total of 13 unlockable characters, with some having multiple different loadout options and even one secret character. You'll be able to find someone who sticks out to you. For me, that's Huntress and Artificer. Huntress is nimble, has decent single target damage, but gets her true power from her secondary fire, the Laser Glaive. It bounces between enemies up to 6 times and does more damage the more it bounces, and it can proc damage items, leading to things kind of exploding on your screen. Then there's Artificer. She's super immobile, but has ridiculous AoE damage if you run her Nova Sphere and Flamethrower. If you throw in an ignition tank on top of that, you can just watch everything burn away. Her damage really starts to get insane later into the game. There is so many more things I could talk about with this game. The individual enemies, the items, the 2 main bosses, the lore, callbacks to the first game, and the list goes on and on and on. But I'm not here to tell you every single working mechanic of the game. I'm just here to tell you why I love Risk of Rain 2. Thank you for watching. That was more work than I was expecting, to be honest. This is my first attempt at making any type of real video that isn't just a crappy TikTok edit or hastily put together montage. I know the clips were only from like 6 or 7 different runs, but I really didn't have a lot of time as I had to finish this video before the weekend. Overall, I'm really happy with how it actually turned out for my first try, and if you liked the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, advice, criticism, anything, feel free to let me know in the comments. And thank you again for watching through this. I hope you have a great night.